Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly eye-opening message. We are diving deep into Part 3 of a fascinating four-part series called The Set Time of God. This was originally preached by Pastor Noel Sandish at Crown of Life Ministries right in Bhopal. Get ready, because we're going to explore a profound spiritual mystery about how time functions, and honestly, how understanding it can literally save your future.
So let's just dive right into this. Why do highly successful people suddenly lose absolutely everything when times change? It's something we see happen all the time in the real world, right? We watch great leaders, massive businesses, or just really successful individuals hit absolute rock bottom seemingly overnight. Why does this happen? Well, the answer actually lies in a spiritual mystery about the changing nature of time. There's just no guarantee that because you start well, you're going to end well. Time shifts, and we have to be ready for it.
And this brings us to a foundational truth established by King Solomon, a man gifted with immense wisdom from God. He wrote, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." Solomon connects absolutely everything in life to times and seasons. The core idea here is that true wisdom is simply understanding the specific season you're currently in. Good times and bad times, they're both guaranteed to happen under heaven. The key is knowing exactly how to navigate them.
Think about a farmer for a second. Why on earth wouldn't they plant their seeds in the middle of a blazing hot summer? Well, because every time is not convenient for every result. If they plant in the summer, there's no rain, and the seeds simply won't grow. It doesn't matter how hard the farmer works or how top quality the seed is, if the timing isn't right, the result just won't come. We absolutely have to respect the current season we're in.
But notice how the wise farmer adapts to these changing seasons. They don't just sit idle for months, waiting for the rain to finally return. Through rainwater harvesting, farmers maximize the favorable times, those heavy, abundant monsoon rains, to survive the unfavorable dry seasons. They build a dam and stock up the water while it's pouring down. This is the perfect picture of divine preparation, you guys, using the advantage of today to firmly secure your tomorrow.
I love how Pastor Noel Sandish puts this. He emphasizes a crucial point. You literally cannot pull the sun out at 2 a.m., right? It just doesn't work that way. God designed the world so day follows night and night follows day. You can't just step outside in the pitch black and demand the sun to rise. In the exact same way, when bad days inevitably come into our lives, we can't just force them out instantly. We must respect the time. We can't stop the bad days from arriving, but with wisdom, we can absolutely manage them.
Section 1. Genesis 41. Pharaoh's dreams of famine. Let's look at a major historical example of this. At this time, Egypt was an absolute global superpower under Pharaoh. Think of it like a modern superpower experiencing massive abundance, fierce warriors, and incredible wealth. But this powerful nation was about to face a massive, unavoidable shift in time. Pharaoh experiences a deeply troubling double dream. He first sees 7 fat, beautiful cows come out of the river, followed immediately by 7 ugly, thin cows. Then, he sees 7 plump, healthy heads of grain grow, followed by 7 thin, withered heads of grain. This stark visual contrast was a divine warning. A season of extreme abundance was coming, but it would be chased by a season of severe famine. But here is the detail that disturbed Pharaoh the most. The thin cows eat the fat cows, but they remain completely thin and ugly. The withered grain swallows the plump grain, but stays entirely withered. Think about how unnatural and unsettling that is. It reveals a terrifying truth about changing seasons. A severe crisis can entirely wipe out all the success, wealth, and abundance of the past, leaving absolutely no trace that the good days ever even existed.
None of Pharaoh's wisest men could figure it out. But a young man named Joseph was brought in, and he deciphered the spiritual code. The cows and the grains, they weren't just animals or crops. They equaled years, times, and seasons. The Holy Spirit was revealing a set, immovable timeline. 7 years of plenty would be followed by 7 years of total scarcity. The good days were ending, and the bad days were absolutely guaranteed.
Joseph looks right at Pharaoh and tells him, in Genesis 41:32, the matter has been firmly decided by God, and God will do it soon. This wasn't a warning of a possible famine, it was a divine appointment. Pastor Noel warns that history is full of great leaders, kings, and businessmen who enjoy years of abundance but lack the wisdom to prepare for the famine. And when those bad days hit, their existence becomes nothing more than history.
Section 2. Time is a revealer. The parable of the 10 virgins. Let's pivot over to the New Testament to see how this principle applies to us today. We have 5 wise and 5 foolish virgins. Notice that they all had lamps, and they all fell asleep waiting.
On the surface, they looked completely identical, but the crucial difference was their action beforehand. The wise bought extra oil, while the foolish did not. When the time of testing hit exactly at midnight, the darkest hour, the result was final. The wise entered the wedding feast, but the foolish were completely shut out. They all looked prepared during the light of day, but only the wise prepared resources for the dark.
Pastor Noel delivers a really hard-hitting truth here. He says, "Don't call yourself wise. Time will reveal if you are a wise person or a fool. You might look great during your season of plenty, but it is the midnight hour, the changing of the season, the sudden arrival of the bad days, that actually exposes who was truly prepared. Your righteousness or your past achievements, they won't save you if your lamp goes out when the darkness hits."
So here's a highly practical spiritual application for us. Don't pray for the darkness to leave. Buy a flashlight while it's still day. Complaining about the bad days is completely useless. It's foolish to wait until it's pitch black to try and find a light. Divine wisdom means gathering your oil, your resources, your finances, your faith, while the sun is still shining, fully expecting that the night will inevitably come.
Section 3. Surviving the Bad Days. Joseph's Divine Strategy.
So how exactly do we prepare? Joseph didn't just drop this terrible news on Pharaoh and walk away. He presented a genius, God-given management plan to save the entire nation of Egypt from the impending famine. Step 1, find a wise and discerning man to lead. Step 2, appoint overseers across the land. Step 3, collect 1/5, which is 20% of the harvest during the 7 good years. And Step 4, store it securely for the famine. By taking decisive action and saving just 20% during the years of extreme abundance, the country actually had the resources to survive when the land dried up.
Let's pull the whole shebang together into a clear game plan for today. First, you have to acknowledge that seasons change. Good times simply won't last forever. Second, maximize the favorable times you are in right now. Third, store up your oil and resources, just like the farmer harvesting rain or Joseph saving grain. And finally, let that stored wisdom and preparation sustain you when the famine eventually hits.
So here is the question I want to leave you with. You may be in your season of plenty today, but do you actually have enough oil for the midnight hour? Take Pastor Noel Sondesh's wisdom to heart today. Evaluate your current season. Please, don't wait for the darkness to fall to start looking for a light. Act now, prepare your resources, and gather your oil while the sun is still shining.